Okay, so here we have all of my dried tomatoes that I've dried over the last 6 or maybe even 8 months. Just tomatoes that needed to get dried before they went bad. Some of them from my garden. These are from my garden. And what I'm going to do today, so quite a few jars of dried tomatoes, and the whole plan was to get a big batch piled up like this and turn them into tomato powder. So that is what I am going to do today. And I'm not going to run the grinder. I'm not going to film running the grinder. I am just going to grind it all up, and I will show you what it looks like when I'm done. And then I'm hoping to have enough to fill this jar back up with powder and put an oxygen absorber in there and put it into my long-term food storage, and that'll free up a big space on my shelf for other foods to be put in there. Okay, so I'm just about done with the tomato powder. I have a little bit that it just won't grind up. This grinder is not good enough or fast enough or whatever to actually grind every little bit, because a lot of this is seeds and it just won't grind it. I see a lot of people using, they recommend to get coffee grinder and use that, and I might look at that in the future when I see one on sale. If I can afford it, I might buy one of those and try that out. Right now I just don't have the funds to go out and buy one, but I want to buy a brand new one and use it only for grinding vegetables into powder. And I want to get one that is stainless steel. Going to be pretty picky on it, just from other videos that I saw, what they recommended, and they bought a stainless steel one that it's all easily washable and everything. So that's probably what I'm going to do. So it'll probably be a little bit more expensive than the cheapest ones you can buy in the grocery stores and stuff. So I have to save for it and really think about it. But this is something I want to do in the future, so I want to keep doing this. I have lots of other stuff that I can do. I have ginger that I can get quite a bit of. I have onions. I'd like to be able to make ginger powder, onion powder, garlic powder, and I can get quite a bit of that stuff anyway at a decent price. So I want to be able to do that. But I mean, that's out of those, and I'm going to leave one of my jars because they are really nice just to snack on, just to pop one in your mouth every once in a while. As a snack, they're really tasty. So you can see kind of all the other. I have a whole bunch of other dried, those are dried cremini mushrooms. I wanted to try to dry whole mushrooms. Those turned out really well. There was quite a few of them. There was quite a few of them in there, but Kara keeps just eating them as a snack, so which is good. That's I brought them home for that. There's my Atlas jar. It's a pretty cool jar. It's an old. See if you can see it. It's an old Atlas jar. That's really cool. Atlas mason jar, and that's probably antique almost. And then here's raisins. So I have a lot of stuff that I dehydrate. But yep, and I figure what I'm going to do is just save this stuff that I can't grind down. Sorry, my fingers went right into the... But save this stuff that I can't grind down in a jar and add that to soups and stuff like that. And I don't want it to just go in with my powder, because I want to be able to use that for tomato paste and tomato sauce. So guess I can take the lid off of this. And right at the top, because I keep shaking it, you're going to see it looks a little bit more, but it's a fairly nice fine powder. I'll get that in a jar, get it all sealed up. But I will throw that in a jar, and I'm going to put an oxygen absorber in there with it. And yeah, I think this will be perfect. So that's quite a bit of powder sitting there. So I don't know. Tell me what you think. Do you think it's a good idea or a bad idea? Because I get most of these tomatoes for right around 89 cents a pound. Most of them are marked down from the grocery store, and I get them for 89 cents a pound. And it's kind of a bigger bag, which means that I can't use them all fast enough to just... I have to do something with a couple of each. Whenever I buy them, I have to do something with a couple of them, because they don't get used up fast enough and they'll just go bad. I don't want to pass up the good deals when I can find them, and this is what I can do with it. And it's kind of putting food aside for when I need it, when I can't afford it. Like right now, I can save money on my food bill by just using up some of this stuff instead of going and buying more groceries. So as I was editing the video, I realized that I didn't give anybody measurements on how much to use right here. So for tomato paste, it's 2 parts of powder, 1 part water. And for tomato sauce, it's 1 part powder and 6 parts water for tomato paste and for tomato sauce. So and then you just, with those 2 things, you can go all sorts of ways with whatever you want to do on in your recipes, whatever you need. But I hope that helps somebody out. And then usually, because all tomatoes are not created equally, and like me, I have a variety of tomatoes in mine. I have Ralma tomatoes, I have greenhouse grown tomatoes, I have my tomatoes on my garden, I have vine ripe tomatoes, so I have whatever I can get my hands on at the time. So I usually add a little less water and sneak up on, like if I want tomato paste, I don't add I don't add like the 1 part. So if I'm making tomato paste and I add, say I'm making a big batch just to make it easy, if I add 1 cup of powder, I don't put 2 cups of water in all at once. I'll put a full cup in and then maybe like a half a cup, and then I just keep adding water until it gets to the consistency of what I'm looking for. I never make it in the cups. I always use tablespoons for the tomato paste. Make it in smaller batches, just because you don't use a whole lot of tomato paste in the recipes and stuff that we have. You're just looking for like an 8-ounce little can or a 6-ounce little can worth of tomato paste. Tongue-tied. But yeah, I hope that helps somebody out. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put, these are my 50 cc oxygen absorbers, and I'm going to put 2 of them in that jar, It's going to be a little bit of overkill on there, but I'd rather have it be overkill because I'm hoping for that to be last for multiple years in storage, and just start adding to it again. I'll start another jar with what I have left over and just start adding to another jar. It's just nice to have one batch that is all done at the same time, and that's what I'm going to put into long-term storage. And whenever I have something like this, now the next time I do this, if I haven't used this up, then I will add just the remainder of the next one. But I'm going to try to get enough to make another jar, and each time I get it, I'll make a jar, put a date on it, and if I ever need to use it in the future, I will use the old estate. Pretty simple. Rotate everything. That's the best way to go about it. But yeah, there's not a whole lot left there, and if I need to, I can grind up some of these to make powder to go along with this if I need it for a dish, rather than opening up my jar with oxygen absorbers, because then I'm just wasting my oxygen absorber. And they're kind of, they're not expensive, but for me, anytime I have to spend money, it is expensive. I'd prefer to save my money, do things as frugally as possible, so that I can actually have more food saved up in the end, rather than spend a whole bunch of money. Because these are like $17 for 200 of these, which it does per each. It doesn't make them very expensive, but if I can save $17 and spend that on food, I can make that $17 go a long way with food. So yeah, I hope everybody understands what I'm trying to say. Do things as frugally as possible. I'm going to get my lid found. I will use a little bit of vinegar on this lid because there is dust on it. I'll get it cleaned off. I will throw the oxygen absorber in there. I'll throw the lid on, and then I'll just tighten it down as tight as I can, and I'll watch and make sure it seals. So there it is, all ready to go. Just has to seal up now. Tomato powder, day after Christmas 21. So I'll just leave this on the counter now and let the oxygen absorbers do their work and get that to seal. I'll throw that into a jar, probably into a little cup that I have, not into a regular mason jar or anything, just a little cup that has a lid. And then this stuff I will put into a jar that I can put a lid on. So that'll just about do it for this episode of Not So Remote Alaska. Just one of the ways that I can make my dollars stretch a little bit farther, make my crops from my garden stretch a little bit farther. Some of those tomatoes in that jar are from my garden, so some of them were in the bag, and I dehydrated them rather than have them go bad. So just one of the ways I can make it get a little bit more. So I'm going to end this video now. May God bless and keep each and every one of you. And with that, I'm out.